Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video. And in today's video, we're going to have a look at crypto. We're going to have a look at Bitcoin. And I want it to be a bit of an interactive video. So do let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are. I am going to pose quite a few questions. It's unprecedented times. It's painful. I mean, if you just look at the inflation rate, it's the highest it's been since 1981. Now, I went into the comment section on videos. I went into, some of the comments on Twitter, and it's really, really interesting to see because Nick's technical analysis has kind of been on point recently for some time, actually, in this pullback. And it's the comments are really what sort of not triggered me, but it interests me because people are very quick to call out some of the calls that didn't come to fruition. And I guess I kind of want to do a bit of a video just to talk about how unprecedented the times are that we're in right now, right? And Nick utilizes Elliott wave theory, and that's fantastic, but it's all based on historic data and how emotions are tied into that, right, from human behavior. And that's kind of how Elliott wave theory works, right? And Nick's calling out numbers that the data is suggesting is likely to happen, right? And nobody really knows where the market's going to go, but it's unprecedented at the moment. You just have to go and have a look at the crypto market, for example. So we're down 3.94% at the time of recording for the total market cap of crypto, which now stands at $861.85 billion. And Bitcoin is now sort of hovering around the 19,143 and actually broke down into the 18,700, 800 mark. So, again, there isn't much volume. We're going through some really radical things in the real world, right? And that is impacting financial markets across the board, not just the crypto market itself. And that's what makes it so unprecedented, right? You've got the war that's going on in Ukraine, and again, this is having an impact on the price of food because of like the imports from the Ukraine and so forth, energy prices, all of that sort of stuff, right? And I think that's what makes it so different to previous cycles. And I think as much as in the past 6, 8, 12 months we've been talking about the bull market and could this cycle be different. And I think with all these macro events that have happened in the real world, it has been a different market, and I think it is going to continue to be a different market. And like we have the Bitcoin rainbow chart here, and I think that we're going to see lower lows. And I think I don't know if it really invalidates these charts so much. I think actually a lot of the charts and a lot of the models that people have put together, I think the 100k Bitcoin, I think if we didn't have all these macro events, we probably would be there, right? Or being getting closer to those particular price points. And I think that's what's really interesting. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments on that, because I think there's a lot of people putting their necks on the line, not just Nick but various other influencers putting their necks on the line, calling out the numbers that they see in the data, and then getting backlash when actually all these macro events that are impacting all the different financial markets come to fruition. Nobody could really foresee that happening a year and a half ago. And the whole COVID situation, I just think there's an awful lot that is happening in the real world. And I think a lot of these models are actually correct, but they don't take into consideration these macro events that we're seeing, right? We've got the Bank of England ready to act more forcefully on interest rates. Again, we're going to see interest rates going up. You've got inflation, I think is at about 8.6%, according to data that I've seen on Google. And, that's the highest since 1981. And I think, the data that a lot of the people that are doing technical analysis on YouTube are using doesn't sort of take into consideration these sorts of things that we haven't seen in this particular market for these crypto assets. And on top of that, you've also got I guess the compounding of institutional money getting involved in the crypto space, right? And these are seen as probably the most riskiest assets that they own, and the risk assets are the ones that get sold off. Then you've got obviously like Terra Luna and all that stuff that's happened there. Then you've got the other lending platforms, Free Arrow Capital, for example, Celsius, and there was another exchange, CoinFlex, I think it was called. So there's an awful lot going on, and I think there's going to be even more of that. And I think that's why we've got potentially room more for the downside. So people in our Discord, check it out. Links in the description, free to join. They're asking why they're not seeing too many buy alerts, because Nick and myself think that we've got lower lows to come in still. And Sam Bankman has basically warned that there's crypto exchanges that are already secretly insolvent. So Nick and myself are constantly saying to everybody, reduce the amount of risk that you hold. Now, I've got 10% of my portfolio stuck in Celsius. I've got 10% of my portfolio on another crypto exchange in stable coins, USDC, staked but locked for another 2 months. As soon as I can get that off that exchange, I'm going to. And I'm putting all of my crypto on my Nano Ledger, but I'm also taking my money out of stable coins, putting it into fiat and getting it off of the exchanges and into my bank account. And I will onboard it when I'm ready to purchase cryptocurrency at the right prices. I'm just trying to reduce the amount of risk that I hold. Now, I've always kind of felt like I have good risk management in the respect that I never put more than 10% on any centralized platform. So if one goes bankrupt, I'm only going to lose 10% of my portfolio. It's still a lot, but it was it was something that I was comfortable with. Now you're comfortable with it until it actually comes to fruition, and you lose that money. So I'm just trying to say that I'm reducing my risk. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is for educational purposes only. But my suggestion would be to go away and have a look and decide what your risk management tolerances are, and start to put some risk management in place. Certainly I'd be getting my crypto off of exchanges. I am doing so. There's a link in the description if you're interested in getting a Nano Ledger. Get it direct from the manufacturer. Use the link in the description of the video. Now we've got plenty of videos on how to set those all up, and how to navigate, how to use a ledger and MetaMask and all those sorts of things on our Crypto Basics educational video content that we've got. So do check that out. And there's the videos saved in our Discord as well, which is free to join. So get down to the Discord. But ultimately, I don't trust this guy. I don't particularly like him. I think he's saying that he's not bothered about money, and he also runs 𝗕𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 Research, and they constantly dump on retail investors, and that's pretty much why I don't like this guy. I don't think he's to be trusted as much as several others in the space, but that's just my opinion. Take it with a pinch of salt. Now, if we go here, we've obviously got the Harmony One. We've also had the Harmony One hack. Now, this is something that came up in some of the comments as well. Why are we still covering Harmony One? Well, I'm going to continue to cover Harmony One until I really understand what's happened. I still believe in the project. Just because a protocol gets hacked doesn't necessarily mean that that's the end of the project. But time will tell. But it could be potentially related to North Korea. Now, Harmony have increased the amount of money they're willing to put forward. And basically, I think they had $1 million, for the safe return of the money that was stolen. They've upped it to 10 million. Just return the remaining 90 million. If the hackers comply, then Harmony Protocol would cease the investigation. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I'm really hopeful that they get it all resolved. but ultimately it's going to be difficult to see how those sort of things sort of progress. It doesn't look particularly good. Next thing to sort of talk about, again, I don't want to sort of go into too much detail here, but obviously I've been talking about, you know, lots of really negative things, and I do expect lower prices. So you go utilize the tools available, your Elliott wave theory, your technical analysis, to see sort of where those prices might go. And then obviously, you know, you can look to ladder in or dollar cost average in at good prices on, you know, projects that you think are going to be solid investments, you know, and you got to look at your risk tolerance. So, you know, JP Morgan says that the crypto market deleveraging cycle won't be lengthy. And I think basically what they're trying to suggest here is all of these companies that have been over leveraging and, you know, basically treating the money that retail have put into these platforms like it's monopoly money, and, you know, putting, you know, in immense risk. You know, most of those companies are, you know, going to start to collapse, or other companies with, you know, better, I guess, risk management and more funds are going to prop some of these up potentially. And we've seen that with FTX. So hopefully, you know, these are all be things that get resolved. And it looks like JP Morgan are suggesting anyway that it's going to be, you know, shorter timeframes than many of us think. And we've probably been through a lot of the painful stuff already, but I do think that there are others that are going to fail, including potentially some of the stable coins as well. So, you know, just be aware of that. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗧, he's gone and, you know, MicroStrategy bought another $10 million worth of Bitcoin. So yeah, look, right. These are, I guess the point I want to make, these times are, you know, opportunities. It depends on how you see it. You've got all this negativity, but then you've got MicroStrategy, you know, purchasing up lots of Bitcoin still, and, you know, with everything that's going on in the space. And I think that is a sign that these are fantastic opportunities if you see them that way. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, but my opinion is there's an awful lot of opportunities in the market now, and further opportunities to be made as the prices come down lower. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on everything that I've just discussed. Do you think that it's going to be completely different to the previous cycles? Do you think the Bitcoin halving is going to have the sort of impact that it has historically? I don't. I think that's, you know, a thing of the past. I think, you know, the macro landscape has more impact on it now than ever before. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on all of these questions that I've got. I'm really interested to know. Jump in our Discord, have more meaningful conversations with us. If you enjoyed today's content, mash up that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.